Good morning and good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It is the 22nd day of December. It's just about 6 minutes after the hour of 8. To the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, a pleasant good morning. To the regional and international diaspora, good morning. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on YouTube, Facebook, TVC channel 40 as well. We are on your FM dial at 98.9. Just to remind you, if you wish to bring something present to the fore or join in on the conversation, our local numbers are 466-0989. In the U.S., we have two numbers, 1-718-285-6984 or 1-305-921-4619. In the UK, 0333440065. Good morning, Carrie Ann. Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Shermel Rusty. Good morning, Calvin Burke. Good morning, Mom. Good morning. Miss Nisbet Richards, good morning. Miss White, good morning. Dennis and Javon in New York, good morning. Beatrice Richardson, good morning. Gowan, good morning. Mr. McMahon, good morning. Carla Astafan, welcome back home and good morning. Congratulations on all your achievements. Skeeter, good morning. Schneid, good morning. Sharon, Yolanda, Jermaine, Kevin, Brian, Levy, Diana H, and Diana L, Brent, Elder, Jam Down, Dumpling, good morning. Chevrich, Mishi, Colin, good morning. Annette Frank, Eric Duport, Roberto Chapman, Glenna Duport, Lyndon Williams, Miss Margaret, that's Troy's mommy. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Isaac. Good morning, Fidel Boxer, Edith Bradley in St. Thomas. Good morning, Ewan Herbert. Good morning, Tyrone in Anguilla. Good morning, Mario, Carlisle, Tessa. Oh my God, Joan. Shermel Wilkin, good morning. Good morning. I got so many people to say good morning. Cleo, how could I forget Cleo? Cleo, good morning. Gwinnett, good morning. Kathleen, good morning. And to my lovely co-host, Quint, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I have a
And
lot
how
of
are
good
you
mornings,
today?
right? I am okay.
Okay.
Still reeling, but yesterday dawned on me that it's been a week since we lost our beloved Janet. So continued condolences to her family and to all of us that continue to mourn. Um, and for all other persons who may be mourning that we're not aware of in the Federation and around the world, you are in my prayers because I pray for everyone. But on behalf of WinFM, we continue to say sympathies and empathies. Quint,
Yeah.
how was your weekend?
Work.
Oh boy, it's like it's never done, huh?
Well, you see all that cleanup out there?
Yeah, that was you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, kind sir.
Yeah.
Oh boy, so you were working hard to ensure that we look splendid around these parts. All right. So as we start the morning off, I know we don't have traffic talk today, but Quint, I have been the witness of two, thank God, they weren't eventful, uneventful incidents. Now, for those of you visiting our federation, we in St. Kitts and Nevis drive on the left hand side of the road. Now, you go around the roundabout, you don't go the opposite way around. Yeah, we were in Frigate Bay by the roundabout, just there by churches, and a car didn't go around the roundabout. The car, this is a somebody probably lent their friend that's home their car. The person went up, the little, I don't know if you know the triangular marks in the road, the little triangular moles that they
Yeah.
make. It's round at the top. The person decided they're not gonna go around the roundabout to get where they needed to go. They're gonna go up top and turn by the triangular mark and come down. That is not how it works. That triangular mark is to separate the road. The roundabout is to go around. Yesterday, when I was leaving the airport now, I saw someone doing that same thing again, going around the triangle to get to go over to Connery. No, please, folks, use the roundabout. I don't know how somebody's trying to tell me they don't have a lot of roundabouts in the US and wherever, but I know you drive on the right over there, but we don't have a lot of roundabouts either. We only have a couple. But I mean, please, please, for your safety, for you to enjoy your carnival, for you to return from whence you come at, you have to drive safely. If you don't understand, have whomever loan you their car or whomever rental company is renting you the car, just let them drive you around, including ask them to take you around the roundabout so you can understand, because I don't want anybody getting in accidents, including ourselves. And luckily, both times I've seen our drivers be patient with these individuals where they flash them, because the first one was in the night where they either flashed them and they alerted everybody else to slow down. And I had the opportunity to flash them yesterday, like, you're doing the wrong thing. So, and some of us locals are still driving crazy. Yes, I see y'all all the time. Y'all lucky I don't have powers invested in me, because I'll be ticketing y'all. I'll become an officer allo for y'all, because y'all not behaving. And then we want to say the government taking our money. You giving it to them freely. You don't have to give them any money if you drive safely. So please, no way is far. I saw somebody head past churches yesterday and rushing up the roundabout. Where we going? Where we going? Where are we going? And then we gonna complain and say, oh, the hospital couldn't help. You could have helped and not be up there. So please, do what is right. Drive safely. Tourists, visitors back home, we drive on the left side of the road. You have to go around the roundabout to get out of the roundabout, okay? Do not use the triangles, please. Please. Yeah, so that was my PSA for this morning, because I don't want anybody losing their lives, their limbs, getting in accidents
Yeah.
at this time of the season. We know how December is, so let us do it correctly. And on the regional scene, I know I make noise with Venezuela for wanting to take 3/4 of my country, right? But what's happening to Venezuela needs to stop.
And as just as what was happening with and is happening in Palestine, the world just watches and let the superpowers do what they want.
Nonsense.
And then tell you things like, well, we should get Maduro to go, and not saying that you're wrong.
Exactly. And my thing is, right, if it's so bad for these people, yeah, they come into your country, whatever, stop them, send them back, turn them back, let them go back to their countries. But you have ways and means. You blew so many boats out of the water, right? And you could have stopped those boats, searched those boats, and let those people go. I do not understand that nonsense. Then now you seize a second oil tanker, now you're looking to seize a third. This is just...
And the second oil tanker wasn't even a sanctioned tanker. So just like how he says in one vein, we want Maduro because he's a drug trafficker, he's bringing drugs to kill people. Then he pardons a convicted drug person. He says we're dealing with sanctioned ships, and then they just pick up an unsanctioned ship. So all kind of
nonsense. Listen, CARICOM, y'all need to speak up, That's why I said these things don't work,
Look.
That's why I said these things don't work.
This shows us clearly how and why we've been kept in the position we have been for 400 years. The powers that be have beaten us into submission and used their power to keep us in submission, and we have become the abused. We are suffering from the abused woman syndrome. You know what the abused woman syndrome is?
Stay and take it.
Where you fall in love with your captor because he's the only person who feeds you. He's the only person. So even though he abuses you, you get an endeared feeling because you feel you can't survive
You really
without
think those
him.
people are in there, or those people are afraid?
They are afraid, but you see, psychologically, the will to survive makes you sort of
understand that
submit.
part.
And that is what they call
Submit to blows? That's madness.
That
He
is what
sleeps,
they call the abused woman syndrome. So we're suffering from the abused people syndrome. Yeah.
Quincy
Where
sleeps.
we accept abuse and we say, well, because I'm in a reasonable... It goes back, it's the same thing, Hortensia. Just the same as if the man who abuses the woman, he kidnaps her, he abuses her, but he's the one who comes and give her few food, and occasionally he says, I'm only doing this because I love you, and she forget that I was doing my own business. The man picked me up out of nowhere, put me in this place, abuses me and uses me when he wants to, but he gives me good food and that. And we're saying, because we're comfortable, get rid of Maduro. And then when he says, get rid of Jew, we say, get rid of Jew. And come on, man. This
No, because
absolute
today
nonsense.
for them, tomorrow for us, we are not immune, and if any nonsense starts in this Caribbean, and then everybody needs a place to stay, we already in the luchando. Yes, we're in the fighting. And then they come over here. You're going to hear, no, we can't hold no more people. We can't this, we can't that. We have to speak up to help. It's not making any sense. And as most Americans are saying, Trump is basically spreading himself thin. He's in Syria, he's over there, he's there, he's there. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Because in his delusional mind, he felt that when he became president, everyone that he wanted, everything that he wanted in terms of oil and gold and minerals, he could just say, Iceland have it, I want it. Canada has that, I want that.
That's why Iceland
Venezuela have
run
it, I
them.
want that.
But it's not yours. That's greedy. I saw this Senator Kelly. I don't know if you saw it. Senator Kelly was speaking out about them wanting to silence him, wanting to kill him. They want to court martial him. He was a former naval officer. His wife was shot in the head when she was speaking to her constituents one time. He speaks out against Trump bullying people, being the biggest bully, running his casinos into the ground. And he basically saying this is what he's doing again to the country. And I was like, wow, a Democrat speaking out, that's good. Now the other Democrats need to back him and speak out as well. But as I said, this is what these people wanted.
But what happened to the Republicans? You want to tell me? Because it's just like down
Some of
here.
them, like six of them, not all of them are speaking out against. And then,
It's just like in the Caribbean. Your party is in power, foolishness is happening, you're silent.
you don't say anything.
But when the opposition was in power, oh, you were on the television, on the radio, writing in articles and all over the place.
All
But
of
now
them do it, you know? And we as people just sit back and allow them to do it and talk about that's we party. That's we party. This is what we want leading us.
Hello, caller.
Oh boy.
Yes, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Yes, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only, and who is the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, what I'm going to say, as usual, going to get people angry, but I stand on the Word of God, as the Word of God, which is the Bible. Now, when I read in the Bible concerning events with countries, people, that sort of stuff, even the physical world, when I read in the Bible, I read that God is in control of everything, and everything is by Him, from Him, of Him, and to Him, for His glory, and for the good of all His own, His chosen, His elect ones only. I say all of that to say this. What is going on in Venezuela, the U.S., the Caribbean, Gaza, you name it, is not something that is accidental, coincidental. It just happened out of the thing, anything like that. All that is happening, as the Bible says, is from God, to God, by God, and so on. In other words, God in control of everything. And so, the Bible let us know, for example, in Deuteronomy chapters 28 to 29, and so on, other scriptures as well, that when we disobey God, God will punish us. And throughout the pages of the Bible, what you see happen is that God sent a nation, our nations, as evil and as wicked as they are, to use the wickedness and to use the evil to trouble you, to destroy you, to ruin you, and that sort of stuff. So what is going on in Venezuela, Gaza, you name it, Sudan, Nigeria, you name it all over the world, is simply the result of God dealing with disobedience. And He's using other nations, evil, that sort of stuff, to do His judgment on them. We may not like to hear it, but this is what the Bible says, and this is what I stand on, the Holy Bible. And the only solution is to turn to God in true biblical repentance, obey His word, and that would deal with your issues, your problem, that sort of stuff, as Jesus Christ would have you to enjoy His blessings. The Bible is the only solution, and right now we are too disobedient to the Bible, and we are not biblically repenting. And if we don't, it would only get worse and worse to our total and final destruction. So this is what I have to say concerning this issue, and we could speak and we could talk as we like. We could cuss as we like. We could say all that we have to say. If we do not biblically repent and turn to the Word of God and start to obey it, things will only get worse and worse to our final and utter destruction. Take care, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Because I'm not going to go there and repeat the same thing over and over.
No. Why should we?
No, I mean, because
You mean in rebuttal to what the caller just said?
yeah, I'm not
No.
going to go there. I'm
You
gonna
know,
leave that.
can't you hear me say, I don't fight. I just speak on certain things. I know Jenny would say I don't like to talk on politics and I don't like to talk on religion because it leads us to nowhere. I know what the Bible says, so I just work with what is said.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, good morning and peace to you all and peace to our bit of nation. I just called to say I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas when it comes, full of peace and full of joy, but at the same time the remembrance of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. However, since this might be the last for when we might get to speak because I've been trying to call in for a while, I am happy to see that a number of other lawyers and so forth, even the Bar Association, are getting on board and calling out the act for what it is. I know some people might want to say, oh, this is Christmas, but you know what? That situation still goes on. And it's our beloved nation we are talking about. I personally will call upon the developers to refrain or to even stop what they want to do with our nation. They come from a bigger nation than us. Yes, person might say is the money. But you know what? Scripture says the love of money is the root of all. We shouldn't put money in front of the patrimony of our nation, the sovereignty of our nation. Because when we listen to the gentleman clearly, he said it clearly. I mean, I called in and I mentioned something. He made his statement. You guys heard it because you played it. And he said exactly what I was saying. His own judicial system and all these things for governance. Now, I would want to put something out to the Bar Association to check carefully, because if any act of parliament is unconstitutional, it is null and void. Because I believe the powers for legislature, the powers for executive powers, and the power for judiciary, and even policing is based on the state. And if the Constitution said the government or Parliament can make laws to transfer that, well, no problem. But if that is unconstitutional, then that act itself not only would be repealed, but it would be null and void according to the Constitution, because there's no law above the Constitution. So I'm just calling our Bar Association. I went to the Constitution and I do some research and I did things because I know the Constitution back and forth. But I want they are the lawyers, our legal minds, to look at that, because it is very frightening to hear what this gentleman said. And I think all of us in our nation should be on this boat to say, hey, we have too little land for such to happen. The other thing, I would want our government, now the present one, because it is our government, and when we reach in power, I'm going to talk to my colleagues, and I'm doing that now, the CBI should be handled by government. I do not believe no developer should be given any passports. They are getting more than us, and it boils down to every natural resource if you want. You don't believe me? My friend there, Guyana just discovered oil recently. But who benefiting more from the oil? Is it the government or the developers or the investors? And these are the things I'm talking about. We have to look at these things. We have to benefit more from it.
But these are the things. But these are the things that I've been saying over and over. It's good to hear you say that. But let me ask you a question, right?
Yes, sir.
Saturday, your party was supposed to send a representative to present on Inside the News. I understand that your leader was sick, and therefore not able to come. But you want to tell me no one in the party could come to represent the party's perspective? I I I I don't really know Mr. Edinburgh personally, but from what I've gathered from him, I felt that Edinburgh was going to be here. And he did turn up. And when he turned up, I said, I felt you were going to be here and you lived up to my, what I felt. And I felt that perhaps most likely no one else was going to be there. And I was thinking to myself, here we go again. Times when you're supposed to be representing the people, you don't, and the Labour Party sends a representative and they just pit their own perspective and you don't hear the other side. I mean, why wasn't someone sent to represent your party?
What I could say to you and to the general public, I do not have the final say. I was in church, and I only thought, I didn't even remember the date when it was supposed to be. So I thought someone would have been there. But anyway, the political leader, I think maybe even the chairman might have a better explanation. I cannot answer that now because I had church. I was in church on Saturday.
But
so I cannot really repeat that.
From my understanding, you are, you have to tell me if I'm wrong, you're a high-ranking member in the party. Well, and
Yes,
your
but,
excuse is I was in church. I didn't know.
No. I said I thought someone would have been there, but I cannot give an explanation because remember the final decision is not rest with me. Even though in any organization, even though you might be a high-ranking officer, sometimes even based on the group that you have, it may not even based on rank, it's based on position in that group to make certain decisions. So even though you might be the CEO, as long as you form a group, let's say like a safety group, is the person in charge of safety and those persons responsible in matters that deal with safety. So for I understand what you're coming from.
As I have said to you,
where you're coming from.
as I have said to you on numerous occasions, I must commend you because if it's one person I know I'm going to hear from, it's you, right? But I will tell you, not only from my perspective, but people feel there's something wrong in the runnings of your party. Get it fixed.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but at least you said the political leader was sick, and as you said, somebody should have come. And maybe if it was a different day and I was not in church, I would have come there because I like to use this opportunity to let people know the position of the people that come with. And actually the best thing for our nation, because I do not even remember what the topic would have been. So I couldn't even say, let me put in a one or two now.
They were supposed to discuss the budget.
The budget.
The recent budget speech.
Well, I'm not sure. I listened to it. I didn't get to listen to everything. But, a 1-point-something billion dollar budget is a lot for a small nation like that. And then when I have to look at the Prime Minister's office when he has, that amount is, we have to ask ourselves what exactly is happening inside there. Some of the other areas could have get some more. I believe when it comes to defense and security of our nation, priority should be there. But like I said, I guess I know our parliamentarian, Mr. Dr. Richards, would have let his piece and let people know where the party stands and his view, and also what the People's Action Movement would have do better and point out some areas that are kind of
here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at recently there was a protest, and the only person we saw was your leader. And we questioned why was your leader only there. And we heard that your leader said only she should be there, right? Then the leader is sick for a representation and no one else. You know the conclusion I come to? I come to the conclusion that maybe this is my conclusion, This is Quint's conclusion, that maybe that maybe the leader was supposed to be there and the leader didn't designate anybody else to take her place and she was sick. But I'm saying as a party, you can't continue to do that. You're a party. You're not an individual. You're a party that is supposed to, in the future, given the opportunity, represent the people.
Yes, I understand what you're coming from and where you're coming from. But like I said, the final decision wasn't with me. And if it was a different day, I would have listened, I would have called in, and even if you tell me, okay, can you come down to the studio now? Of course I'd come down there and represent my party, but at the same time represent constituency number 7 and represent our nation because I think
Maybe,
our
maybe,
nation
maybe,
needs to make
maybe
certain
you
things.
should have, maybe you should have been the leader of the party.
Who knows?
God has persons who are in certain position, and
See?
I'm humble and satisfied where I'm at because that's
Quintus
where God wants me
Quintus
to be.
speaking these things into being. Who knows, Mr. Bell?
Well, we have our political leader and our political leader. Let me put it this way, sir, and to the nation. Every leader has his or her way of doing something. We may not understand it at the time, but from an explanation, when you see something, you say, okay, now I understand. And
Well,
so
I'm
that's
telling
all I
you,
would like to say.
I am telling you, I will never understand this.
I'm
It
not
doesn't really
saying
make
she's
any
a I
sense.
person, so don't get me wrong. Don't send me any
Uh-huh.
letters. But there is no I in team. It's a whole makeup of people, so I get what Quint is saying. If you're unable to come, send the next best person to represent that's available because
Yeah.
everybody has something going on, but make sure your representation is there because remember, you keep saying Pam is the best thing for the nation. If people can't see representation now, if people can't see a proper binding or leading of the party, they're not gonna vote for the yellow.
Yeah.
So
Well, I wonder.
you have to show us that there is fortitude in your party. You have to show us there's togetherness. You have to show us there's cooperation, and you have to show us that you're really gonna fight for us. Because one person can't fight for us. We see even if one person is in parliament for the party, it the opposition is greater.
Yeah.
So you need more. So you need to get it together and just work for the people as you say because everybody I walk around all I hear Pam dead. How do you feel to hear that? Pam dead.
Well, sometimes, it's not a good thing to hear, but, sometimes it gives you motivation because, okay, I'm going to prove them otherwise.
Well,
But
so
how long
so we
do you
want to see the
need to get
motivation.
exactly how long do you
Hold a
need?
second. Hold a second, Mr. Pell. There's another caller.
Yes, sir.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. Good morning to the listeners.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Straightforward. Quint, you're on the ball. Straightforward. These guys are not. We come on here every morning, every day, and we are giving these people some great advice for free. Man, you cannot remove an incumbent with this type of attitude. Here we all have the SSD passed into law August 11th. Man, you know how much reach that is so far? If it wasn't really for the people, this probably would not have been where it's at. We slowed them down a lot, and we're making advancement. You're not going to tell me that we're talking about a national issue, and a party leader is going to go and say she is protesting by herself. Man, I'm not going to hold my tongue. That's insane. You need the national mobilization. You're going to tell me you need a national mobilization and only one person wants to be protesting? Man, you need to unite and mobilize collectively. There is no other way. Because if you do not mobilize nationally, these guys are going to put their signatures on them documents. The ink is not on the documents yet at all, according to the Premier. But if they see the mobilization nationally, they may think about not doing it. But if they'll call you bluff too. I don't understand, man. I'm telling the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis clearly right now this morning. If you all don't get your act together, the Labour Party will stay there. The CCM NIA will stay there. And they will continue to do what they're doing right now. It's not easy to remove an incumbent government. They're inside and they got the funds. They got access to the money. I'll hold my. I'll let the others speak, and I'll stay on the line.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Pell.
Okay, I understand clearly what my friend is saying there. But you know what? Sometimes when you think there is not unity, unity is stronger than ever. And like I said before, we may not understand it now. Like I said, I wasn't in the final decision making. And the different avenues, the people's action movement voice, opinions are being made, and Facebook platforms and all kind of things. But I understand you want to hear them on the radio. And I would have hoped that would have had someone. I just said no one was there, so I have to understand that. But at the same time, the People's Action Movement, yes, we have the country best interest at hand, and it doesn't matter what we might think. It takes the people to vote, and if people vote for the party are the people who they think have the best interest of the party, the country at hand, and will do the best for the country. That's the way we vote. And that is why now and then I will come on when I get through, because sometimes it's not easy to get on the program, to let people know the People's Action Movement. We have a history of making our country prosper and our people prosper, making life affordable and easy for our people. And that philosophy is not died, and therefore, contrary to what people believe the party is dead, it is not. It's more flying higher than ever. And as you say, it's just a matter of maybe you hearing more often. And our political leader, the executive, everyone is doing their best. I am doing my best to let people know via this airwaves, because I hear the people and I understand that they want to hear the People's Action Movement and a forum like this. And so therefore, now and then when I get in, I do that. And so, my friend Burl and all the listeners personally, I just want everyone to understand that the People's Action Movement have the plans, have the ideas, and that is why they're coming out so strong on this legislation. Even with the museum that they're building at Fort Thomas Hotel, we think otherwise, but of course everyone will see work is going on. All of us heard a bit about the same time, I saw it at the same time. And that is why I'm saying that careful look at the Constitution, we might be able to see that the act itself is null and void because it's in breach of the Constitution. So I'm just calling on the Bar Association. Go to take a comb and comb out the Constitution and comb out the legislation and see exactly, because when it comes to the legislature, not the legislature, the judiciary, we also have an OECS Bar Association, which our systems now, how would that system in the destiny fall there? How would they look at that? And remember, is there all lawyers and so forth, come the judges and so forth. So these are questions we have to ask ourselves. What are we actually doing? And now, we know here who here, suppose I'm Sandy Point, they said, okay, well, we want to have something similar to that. Let's say even for Nevis now decide, okay, you know what, since we give up part of the federation for something, okay, you know what, we're going to really go through and break up the federation by having a, what do you call it? You understand where I'm coming from? So things,
well, I understand. I understand that recently there was a polling. I don't know how credible the polling was, but I understand there was a polling and it was completely against the SSZ on Nevis.
Right. And the reason why I'm speaking on it, I am a federal candidate in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Booby Island. I want to include every single territory of St. Kitts, Nevis, and the Booby Island in my speech, because all these are our territories. And therefore, only Nevis has the luxury of having its own assembly. St. Kitts doesn't have that. So anybody from St. Kitts is actually a federal candidate. And I have to speak for our nation as a whole, the three land masses, which is St. Kitts, Booby Island, and Nevis, because Booby Island is right in between, the middle.
I hate when you all come with that nonsense, because if you're federal, that's what federal means. It's like saying, I am a father. I'm a father for my children. I can't say I'm a father for, I have 5 children. I can't say I'm a father for one of them, or I can't say I'm a father for my sons. You understand? So when you say, oh, Nevis can do this and we can do that, you are the federal government. And as the federal government, you're responsible for everybody. At the same time, at the same time, this is what we have been seeing for time immemorial. You all keep saying, oh, Nevis can do this and we, well, why is it that in terms of the fair share, St. Kitts keep getting the big lump sum and Nevis gets the less, and you all don't complain about the fact that you're the federal government, you control it? I mean, you all keep saying some things that smacks of hypocrisy, because when it's convenient, you come up with this, and all the other whiles, for instance, again, using the fair share. You've never been giving Nevis their fair share. And you don't say, well, Nevis can take their fair share. Can Nevis take their fair share?
My friend, I think you misunderstood what I'm saying. Only Nevis has the luxury. So therefore, anybody from saying is speaking for all the country. So therefore, what you're saying is that is actually exactly what I'm saying. When I speak for all the land masses in our country.
Oh, I thought
Because
you were
no.
I thought you were complaining about it and saying,
No,
well,
I'm not complaining. I'm giving power and let people know that anybody who's running in the federal election is speaking for these three land masses. And
Yeah.
that is why I have to show concern. And even though some people in my need might say, but he's from things, but the fact is, I'm a federal candidate. And when I get elected, I'm representing the entire country of St. Kitts, Nevis, and the Booby Island. And therefore, my input is very important because I'm showing I have concern for my country. And what I want to say as well is that we have to remember, we as the People's Action Movement, we are for development of our country, not for the detriment of our country and our people and removing our sovereignty.
Mr. Pell,
And this is what we want to get persons to understand. Yes, sir.
Mr. Pell, we're due a commercial break soon. But here's what I'm going to say. I must commend you again. You're consistent. You're not only consistent because of the fact that you call in whenever you get the chance to. You're also consistent. You don't try to throw your party under the bus. I don't hear you say, I hear you say the People's Action Movement. I hear you say we. You seem also to be an optimist because you don't seem to give up no matter what. For instance, this morning I come at you hard and you say, well, we're trying and we're going to. So you don't really give up. So I see potential in you. But again, I'm going to also say that it cannot just be you alone. We must see and hear other people being as consistent as you are. For instance, there's Nubian. Nubian is young. He's dynamic. He has a forum on another radio station. Is it that because Nubian is on another radio station, he feels he can't call into this radio station? He doesn't feel that we want to hear his perspective here also? I look up to him. I admire him. Why doesn't he use the forum, call in, let himself interact with Hortensia and myself, let the people hear. This is what I'm saying. I am saying that it cannot just be you alone.
I understand you, my friend. And
yes.
Like I said, it's not me alone, but they use different platforms. But I prefer to use this platform because I know when it comes to politics, and all of them know, but I think, we have the younger generation and so forth. So it's the different avenues. But I like when I communicate with you because when you hit me hard, I like that to give me the motivation because you know what? If you do not give me the hard questions, you will never know the answers we have for your question, for your hard question.
Yeah.
I do not like easy questions. I like hard questions. And I like tough
good to hear that. Good to hear that.
Persons understand, look, unless I do not get criticized to know whether I'm doing good or bad, how would I improve? And therefore, I appreciate when you come hard at me, young Hortensia, and I also appreciate when the people is saying rough things about the party because they give us room to go examine ourselves, come back and pull them, hey, this is why you have to vote for us.
Yeah.
And this is why we want you to help us to make our country good and make us good and better because it will be us.
Yeah.
And if you know the history of the People's Action Movement, you always recognize that's what the People's Action Movement stands for us, for the betterment of the people. And wherever they can is to they come, they apologize, they take actions, and they get rid of persons who the people, the country are saying they should get rid of and things like that. I mean, you know the history that I'm certain persons who were there.
Hold me. Yeah, finish your point. Go ahead.
Merry Christmas to everyone, and just remember the reason for the Christmas. Yes, I know we have Carnival, but it's for the birth of Jesus Christ. And wherever you are, remember, peace, love, and happiness is what is needed. And to our regional partners, I pray and I ask the United States to let peace abound in our hemisphere. And remember, just as how you want to survive, every nation wants it. Because if you put too much pressure, then you might have a flooding without prison coming to your country. And for the gentlemen and women, if they are women, who want to have this destiny, I think you should think twice before you proceed any further with this project. It is bad for our nation. You said you're a citizen of our country. Then as a citizen, you should try to be a good citizen and make sure the sovereignty of our nation is respected and intact. Because you know where we came from, our as a nation, as a people. Our people were under certain pressures.
Yeah,
and people
Mr.
who
Pell,
want to be anything
Mr. Pell,
to go there. So,
I want you to wrap up
thank
your.
you very much,
Yeah,
sir. God
yeah.
bless you. God bless England, Nevis, and of course, God bless constituency number 7. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Burl, you may make your final comment.
Yeah, let me give the caller his commendation for being consistent. Yeah, Quint, the prime minister got to move as he got to act in the interest of both islands. He's just not the prime minister of St. Kitts alone. It's funny that he pushed this thing through and trying to distance himself, but yet still he say he's setting up an advisory committee to oversee the SSC projects that's going to come. So I don't see which one it is. The people cannot be fooled. We cannot be fooled. I am going to categorically say it again. I am against that SSC law and that Destiny project simply because this big word they're trying around, sustainability, we cannot be a sustainable small state as we are
and you heard
without having our land.
And you heard Mr. Pell say that recently this individual who represents the SSZ was saying they're going to have their own this and their own that, and it is what we have been saying all along.
The whole thing about it, man, when somebody owns something, you cannot tell them what to do with it. When these people get their hands on our lands, it's over for us. Our lands are our independence, and if we lose our lands, we lose our independence. Simple. And we just got to keep protesting against this stuff. And I'm going to leave it there and say Merry Christmas to all and good wishes for the new year.
Yeah.
You guys have a good day.
Same to you.
Same to you. Thank you.
Let's take a commercial break, long overdue, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The wait is over. Registration is now open for the COSCAP Junior Carnival Parade 2025. This year, we celebrate under the theme National Treasures, highlighting our unspoiled historical sites and cultural art forms. The Masquerade, Clowns, Brimstone Hill, Berkeley Memorial, Independence Square, and from Nevis, Hot Spring, Bath Hotel, and the Botanical Gardens. It all comes alive on Saturday, December 27th, 2025. Sign up now. It's free. Register online at www.skncarnival.com or in person at the Department of Youth, 3rd floor of the Cable Building, Keon Street, Bastyr. But hurry, while stocks last, join the celebration, honor our national treasures, and watch the future of Carnival shine. It's sweet to the core. Sugar Mass 54.
If you need protection, you'll need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you'll need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
The countdown is on. The sweetest season of the year is here. From December 13th to January 2nd, St. Kitts and Nevis comes alive once more with vibes galore, energy to explore, and moments sweeter than ever before. Sugar Max 54, sweet to the core. The stage erupts with the passion of Calypso, the sweet sound of Pan, the heat of Soca, dazzling pageants and traditions that make you love Carnival even more. Dance to the streets at Juve, celebrate folklore, and revel in the Grand Carnival Parade, a celebration of rhythm, color, culture. Sugar Mass 54, sweet to the core.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
And we are back on Island T, just about 9 minutes before the hour of 9 as we continue along. But Quint, folks might ask Nubian himself, how come he moved from the Orange Party that seemed to be a bit more progressive to a party that, as we said, people are touting instead? And
Well,
and
that
how,
would have been a good question for you to ask him. And if he comes here, then I would leave you to ask that question of him.
No.
So Nubian, if you're listening, or if
yeah.
anyone is listening, tell Nubian that Cortensia has a particular question for him, and he should gear himself up to answer that question.
Yeah, because we want to see how he'll bring life back to what people are calling dead. I even saw something on Facebook the other day with him calling out Azad. I don't know if it's true because you have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Well,
About,
if he did that, I would commend him, because people feel that because you're part of a party, you can't pull up your brothers and your sisters, and that is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Pull up each other. Hello, caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good day.
morning.
Is your both of your overseas lines working? Both?
Yes, because I just had two individuals on, simultaneously. I just had
No, I know. You have two numbers. The Miami area one and the New York area one.
Well, I'm not much of a phone person, so I wouldn't know.
Okay.
caller, let us find out that, and
I
then
know
we can,
I know two numbers are working here. I don't know what they are.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. I'll let you know, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because I would normally use the overseas line.
Okay.
Which one? The 718?
305, the 718 is working. That's what I'm calling on now.
Oh, but the 305?
The 305 apparently isn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's the one I would normally try for.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. I think you're really. I don't know how else you could have said it. I know how else anybody could say it with regard People's Action Movement. Okay. They come over really as disorganized and with lackluster leadership.
Yeah.
They're going to have to fix that somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think they may have been hoping that the current government make enough mistakes that people just reject them offhand and go for whatever alternative there is. But I think that's wishful thinking.
And if that is the case, then it also means that we could be in for a very disgraceful surprise, because if you're not prepared, as you seem you are now, when you get into power, how are you going to govern properly if you're not prepared? You're just waiting for mistakes to thrust you into that position? So I want to be an electrical engineer, right? But I don't know anything about components and circuitry and that kind of stuff, right? But there's Cortensia, and she's vying for the position, and she has studied. I know she has qualifications, right? So I'm waiting for her to take sick so I could get the job. So she happens to take sick, and I get the job. But I don't know anything about circuitry and components and that kind of stuff. So I now have the job. How am I going to perform in the job?
Exactly. I mean, what you should be doing now should be an indication of how you would govern.
What is to come?
People have to see you as energetic,
Yeah.
energized, and competent to a competent alternative. Okay, you don't just sit back and wait for things to happen. Right? That's. I mean, it is true that the Labour Party got into power in the last election somewhat of by default.
Yeah.
The because the other parties were messing up.
Yeah, they self-destruct.
Because remember, they're just months before won an election, or
Yeah.
you know, a year or two had won an election. Okay, and that is no way. That is no way to approach something as serious as this.
Yeah.
So you really think they got him by default and not because they seem
did.
to be the most orderly?
No, they did. He's right. They did.
No.
The party.
The unity thing had just won an election convincingly, and they imploded.
They imploded.
That's what
And
happened.
Yeah.
that's what I keep hearing. But I was wondering if it's not because the government now had a better pitch or a better setup than they. That's
No.
why they won.
And again,
no,
Miss,
as a matter of fact,
and hold a minute, Mr. McMahon, to prove your point. Look at what is happening now. They got in by default, and they don't seem to be able to perform the way they touted. Again, if you're not, go ahead.
What's interesting, though, Quinn, is that you said that, and it was interesting some time ago, recently. It was said by somebody high up in the party that the agenda had changed. You see?
Okay.
So I guess to this sustainability thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It has changed, and which suggests that, well, at least it suggests that they were nimble enough, even though they might not have had a winning agenda initially, to try and craft one now, which contrasts.
So when you say they're nimble enough, because remember I listened carefully to words. So when you say they're nimble enough, so you're suggesting that the fact that they changed to this SSD proves they're being adaptable, but to what? You're adaptable to a degradation?
Well, in my opinion, the sustainability thing, I mean, it didn't originate here.
Well, we all know
UN
see that.
and other countries have been talking about it for ages.
Yeah.
Okay. But at least they were smart enough to adopt it so that it seems that they have an agenda, a winning agenda.
But Mr. McMahon, you and I are savvy enough to know that what it seems to be is a vast difference to what it is.
But yes, there's always the implementation part of it. I mean, if you don't have competent people,
that's it.
I don't care how good your ideas and so on are. They're going to say just that.
That's it.
Okay, it's just not going to happen. But back to Pam, I would have thought, right? Bear in mind, I mean, take away from the recent debate in the House.
Budget.
Okay. The budget debate.
Hold a second. Sylvine, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Or we're going to go back to Mr. McMahon. McMahon, finish your point. Yeah.
In the debate, there were several key things that emerged from it. One, for instance, was the $27 million interest-free loan to the Marriott. Okay.
Yeah, that I didn't know about that.
Right.
Yeah.
None of us knew about it. It seems as if even some of the MPs didn't know about it.
But it was mentioned on the show.
Huh?
It was mentioned on the show.
Which show?
I heard it on Patches. I was just waiting to hear who got it.
Yeah. No, but he mentioned it after it was mentioned in the debate.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
no, it was.
No?
There was a talk going around that somebody over there got it. Yeah, somebody had called
okay.
and said it on his thing.
Before the debate?
Before the debate, yeah, it was
that's
out there.
interesting.
Trust me.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Well, well,
in truth and in fact, Mr. McMahon, there are always some who know, but
well,
so I
that's
guess,
true. Well, obviously.
and remember that is why whistleblowing is vital, because sometimes the insider who knows and feels uncomfortable with something, who conveniently lets it, spill.
Out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with an audit report. It happens. They present these things after the fact.
Yeah.
Pretty much a year after. So you're not fed with timely information, so to speak.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that emerged from the debate for most people.
Okay.
The second thing was Sean's.
Go ahead.
The second thing was Sean's presentation. It was theatrics, yes, that showed that the cost of living is high, okay? And that's a PAM candidate.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that issue, they would have welcomed the opportunity to highlight that issue again, because it was very effectively done in Parliament. I don't think Parliament was the right place for those kinds of theatrics and so on, but
why not? Why not? I mean, we see we see it happening all over the world in other parliaments. So.
Yeah, but do you want your parliament, all the presentations, because you can bet your life, that is going to be the order of the day from now on.
But
Mr.
McMahon, not everybody has the knack to do that. There are only certain people, and let's give Sean his credit. I've always said it. Sean, if he bows out of the party, is because he has been tired. But when Sean is Sean, he is dynamic.
Well,
there's no two way about it. Whatever happened in the unity construct, however the fallout was, and he was the one given the blame, and perhaps he takes some of the blame, and he feels embittered, and there was a call for him to step aside, and he has accommodated that. But we have yet to see anyone who is in that position or touted to represent anywhere near the way he can.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Although I for one was impressed with him even before this. In my opinion, he should have done more for Sandy Point, the area down there. But anyway, what I'm saying is, they had that issue coming from the debate. That was an issue to latch on to, because everybody understands that. I don't care what is presented, let's say on the government side, talking about whether our inflation is just 1% or under 1% or something like that. People going to the supermarket, people buying stuff, do not feel that.
Yeah.
And just like how in the U.S., Biden and now Trump is making the mistake of talking up the economy, right, and going against what most people are feeling.
Yeah.
Who is in the kitchen feels it.
Yeah.
So you can't go and tell people, you can't feel people's pain. So you can't go and tell them, man, things are good when they're catching hell.
Okay, hold a second now, because Sylvine is waiting and I want to hear her input. Good day, Sylvine.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. McMahon. You haven't answered me.
Morning.
Go ahead, Sylvine.
All right. Well, I have been listening to your discourse with Mr. Pell.
Yeah.
But before I do so, the Bible says, woe to the man who puts all his trust and confidence in man.
That is true.
Whose help man is. People are people, you know. Not how we feel.
So are you feeling that I put all my confidence in Pell? Because I come because I
is a member of a party.
Yes.
What you say or don't say doesn't matter, because the party has already selected him as the candidate for Constituency 7.
Yes.
Now, some of the remarks to me are unreasonable. I'll tell you why it's unreasonable.
Remarks.
Every,
Wait,
wait,
remark.
man, give me a
No,
break,
but
please.
I want to know remarks by him or by me. I want us to be clear.
Or by you and coordinated, not assisted by Contentia.
Okay, go ahead now.
It is common practice in this country for leaders of the party to go down government headquarters and demonstrate by themselves. They're not new.
So whether it is
Because
new,
man made on you, you know. Is it because she's a female?
so there's
As a
where
leader of a party,
there's
of a
where
great
you
party?
so there's where you've already Miss Henry. You know I respect you to the utmost, but are you saying that it is the right thing to do? I am saying that as a party, if it is you were doing it for 400 years and it is wrong to do as a party, so because this is nothing to do with woman or man. If a man did it, it would still be wrong.
I am asking the question, is it because she's a female? Because even to the one in Nevis, you know, people tend to downplay and look more to some of the party people than to the leader, which is quite obvious if you listen to. They have two shows. And now they have two shows featuring males. The females come out one on a Monday night and one on Win and Freedom. They don't get much coverage. I don't know if you notice it.
No, I've never.
No attention is paid to the males in the party.
I've never noticed it. I cannot say that you're wrong or right. But you see, I've never looked at things.
That's my perception.
But I've never looked at things from a male-female perspective. I've never done that.
That's you. The population itself.
Okay.
I am telling you. That is how we train and raise.
Yeah.
They go into the parliament, they make speeches. All of those speeches are written by women, you know. Even the prime minister when he travels, his wife is well equipped. You understand?
I'm listening.
Yeah, Miss Dr. Drew's wife was accustomed to write for her government, you know. Her party, where she said Vincent. If you listen to it, they're well written. You may not agree with them, but they're well written.
So you're assuming that his speeches are written by his wife? That is only an assumption. I would think that.
She is qualified to do so.
Okay.
So what are you going to do? And the rest are written in the economic division. I work planning unit. A lot of different people write them. Politicians do not write speeches. When they attempt to do so, they go all over the bush, go around by the bush, pick the fruits, come back around without a season. You could tell.
So Mrs. Henry, let me ask you this question then, right? Because I've said, and I will repeat, I've never looked at things from a male-female perspective. So let me ask you this question now. Do you feel that the leadership of the PAM party right now is giving the PAM party proper representation?
What do you consider to be a proper representation?
Hearing you more on
definition, we deal with definitions, right?
hearing you more on different forums, hearing you interjecting whenever you can.
I told you my perception.
Seeing you as a unit. The PLP party is having various town halls with the SOS banner, basically, Safe St. Kitts and Nevis. And every time you see that political leader, he's never by himself. He has his deputy political leader with us and the other persons that will be...
He dominates the whole thing.
Okay, minus
he
that.
Dominates,
okay.
Wait, give me a chance. Miss Phipps, right? Wendy Phipps.
Yeah.
She's even a better speaker than Timothy Harrison. Are you aware of that?
I would not disagree. She's very eloquent.
Yes.
She's very eloquent.
Not only eloquent, she's well informed.
Well, part of being eloquent, Miss Henry, you're well aware, is to be informed and to be able to represent what you're saying.
Some people eloquent, but they're full of error, you know what I mean? You sound good.
Well, I don't call that eloquence, Miss Henry.
Miss Henry, the fact that he walks around with his peoples, that's what I want to see on the yellow side. Walk around with your peoples. Don't
Well,
just
I
have
agree with
you alone.
I'm saying
Yeah.
that is nothing new in this country. All of them, from Bratcher down to Dr. Wayne, round table.
I don't know that
but
one
to
there.
use but to use the Mr. McMahon, I want your input here. To use the it is nothing new, is of no consequence to me. We need change.
That's your personal thing. I agree with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is not a new phenomenon.
But it's something that should be
The
discouraged.
parties do it. The parties do it to draw attention to the leader. That's why they all do it.
But we know who the
Because
leaders are.
they are always
But Quinn,
better
could you
equipped,
ask her
better
directly,
informed people.
right?
In parties,
Does she think?
Miss Henry, hold a second. Mr. McMahon wants to ask you a question. Mr. McMahon, raise your voice if you can so she can hear you.
Okay. Mrs. Henry, do you think, as things stand right now, that the leadership of PAM is doing a good job?
she's not as aggressive as the other two male. That's all there is to it, you know. Maybe she need some more aggression.
Is that a yes or a no?
You hear what I say? I say maybe she needs more aggression.
But he's asking you for a yes or no answer.
I don't give yes or no answer.
Okay, all right. Plead the fifth. You go on with your bad self, Miss Henry.
Ain't a fifth. You see, yes or no depends.
I don't disagree with you, Miss Henry. Certain
don't
things,
answer those questions.
certain things I also don't do that because it could put you in a bit of a trap.
Yeah.
And Mr. McMahon is very diplomatic, so he.
Well, sorry, bounce upon me.
No. But Quinn, she can come out and say no. If she wants to, or yes. If she say yes, she can defend it.
Hold, Mr. McMahon. Go ahead, Miss Henry.
Even the double salary
Yes.
is a way of reducing opposition to the Destiny Project.
I wouldn't disagree
It has
with that.
nothing to do with the workers and trying to help them out. If you have such widespread opposition and you go to the trouble to give civil servants a double and you don't have it, you mean you have to borrow it. You therefore would expect that it will come when it is forced upon us. Civil servants, we have to shut them out. A man can't go and thief some mango give you and then you're talking about, oh, thou shalt not steal. That is one way of quieting the protest.
Well, in truth and in fact, Miss Henry, it isn't stealing. They took a loan, which they will have to pay back. So that I wouldn't say that they stole it.
They didn't steal it. They didn't steal it. They just put us in a deep hole.
They put us in a deep hole. Yes, I agree.
The deep hole.
I agree.
They don't have the resources to give it.
Yes.
And the other parties them are welling up the people. And they have given the people, the investors, the promise that by next week Monday will be what, the 29th?
Yeah.
By the 31st they have the answer. They already have the answer. Give it plain as day. Plain as day, the debt that need to get down the debt. Saying it's looking, because Whitegate gone in. I mean, sometimes I wish Dr. Douglas just shut his mouth.
Sometimes I wish so too. I second that. I second that motion.
So he contradicts Dr. Drew. Oh, it is coming now. I mean, really? I tell you, a long time they don't say yes. And they have a group. What the group could say? It is there to, well, you can't say you ain't getting no say. You know, look when your parents plan something, say, how do you feel about us getting a Toyota?
Well, there's only
and
two.
the children say, I want us Isuzu or something.
Miss Henry, then Miss Henry, then there are only two ways to go. One, Labour continues and the Labour calls election, they win and they continue down this SSZ path, which will lead us to utter destruction, or
they're going to do it before election.
I know.
You all get the story. The election ain't coming now, you know? Because once you give double salary out of what you don't have,
the reason why
people feel obligated.
The reason why I use the election, Miss Henry, is I use that because as long as the Labour Party remains in power, this SSD is going to go full steam ahead. The reason why I use election is that if there's an election, and this is why it is,
Before?
and listen,
Before you mean or after?
no, they're going to put the SSD in place, but here's
Yeah.
here's my reason for an election after, even after. If they have an election after and Labour wins, we are doomed to destruction as a St. Kitts Nevis, because they're going to go hell pelt on this SSD. We're going to see it happen on St. Kitts. If
All right, have you
but
listened
but,
to Mark?
but but I'm not finished yet. I agree with you, Miss Henry. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. But here's what I'm saying. If there's an election after they have implemented
Oh
it,
gosh, I wanted you to listen to me now.
if there's an election after they have implemented
Tell
it,
me you're working.
if the parties can unite and there is a change of government, then we have the opportunity to repeal. That is why I say we only have two courses, right? There are only two courses. There's either that the Labour CCM implemented, next thing they win election, or full steam ahead, sell out St. Kitts Nevis. That's the one. The other thing, hopefully, there's a change and there's a repealing of it. That's the only way, because I agree with you. I agree with you. They seem hell bent on doing this. I agree
Not
with
only
you.
that, when you start to pose the position, you're gonna get jobs. I mean, sometimes you need outweigh what you really feel, you know. If you promise all of these jobs, and by some means they begin to appear.
But John,
Who looking forward to losing the job?
John, who comes in on a Friday, you remember Cartensia,
I know him.
he made the valid point. The valid point is, yes, you're going to get your jobs and you're going to get your little $500 annually, but what are the people at the higher end going to make? Who are going to, so 15, 20 years down the line, you get your little pittance, and 15, 20 years down the line, the country doesn't belong to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and you don't have autonomy anymore. So who wins and who loses? You're still getting your $500, but you.
I gave you the example of the U.S. Virgin Islands. You know.
That is a good example.
Where they gladly sold out. The same thing will happen because everybody got somebody in the Virgin Islands or in the USA.
Yeah.
Everybody gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Look, you haven't seen that.
No, that was then. No, Miss Henry, that was then. That can't happen now.
Okay, so Mr. McMahon, you put your case forward now. It's a back and forth.
They can shoot small boats out of the water. What do you think? Nowadays, with impunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like in the 50s and the 60s where the Virgin Islands were flooded with work. And so, in a sense, even though immigration used to give them problems back then, they would still get to go down and get something to do. It is not like that anymore. It's much harder. You're not going to have no boat people from St. Kitts going down there.
No, we're going straight to the mainland.
Oh, you're going to have boats to go straight to the mainland. Right? Even little speedboats, they can just shoot out of the water. What boat you got?
I don't think she just means boat. She means by any means a boat, plane, helicopter, whatever.
But what I'm saying is things are much more under control now.
I agree.
And they're not going to let you get in. You look at the hoops now people have to go through just to get a visa to go to the States.
Yeah.
They got to show their social media profiles and those kinds of things.
You understand what's going on?
What do you speak to when Miss Henry?
Hello?
Miss Henry, you're going to have to go because somebody wants to interact with you otherwise.
All right then.
Yeah. So Mr. McMahon.
Well, the first thing, when I try to pin it down with a yes or no answer, you say yes or no. If it's yes, you say why. If it is no, you can still qualify it.
But you know, Mr. McMahon, she wasn't going to do that because she's a stickler for women's rights, and she's not going to throw her female compadre under the bus.
I think she'll tell you she's a stickler for the truth first, right? And I mean, I regard
What is it? Should we
call a spade a spade, huh?
But should we regard it as her throwing her fellow woman under the bus? It's just to get them to pull up their socks, as we would say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's obvious that
Because I'm for womanhood. On days I think I'm a feminist. So yeah.
right. The fact is, she's not being effective right now. No, she's have quite some time to prove herself.
Yeah.
Maybe the party gonna have to take some hard decisions.
That is
running away from it.
That is why I said to Mr. Pell, and I will repeat, I said, Mr. Pell, something is wrong in your party. Fix it. They need to fix it expeditiously.
Because it's not making sense. The thing, I mentioned the $27 million to Marriott, and the Sean's presentation on the cost of living. There was also one other thing, the deficit, okay? And, I mean, the deficit, that is something, that's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Okay? That the opposition could have jumped on as well. You cannot run continued deficit and not have a problem. It's like you have a salary, you get a salary coming in, and you're spending above your salary. You must run it. Everybody knows they are running into problems. Some do it anyway. Some are reckless and do it anyway. But the fact is they know
and
that they're going to run into problems.
And
It's the same thing.
And as Sylvian often says, we're heading right back into the arms of the IMF.
Either IMF or some very unscrupulous investors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both are bad.
Both are bad.
Right.
For us.
And so what I'm saying is the since it was Sean that brought up this thing, okay, and he also spoke about the deficit, then somebody should have been at the presentation that you all had to solidify that.
That is what I was thinking.
That made sense.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody can convince people that running deficits are a good thing. They may be necessary for short-term something. If you have a hurricane, yes. If you have an emergency, yes. But you cannot.
Did you listen to
it's
Inside?
Bad government. It's bad policy to actually have a deficit when you don't have to.
Yeah. Did you listen to Inside the News on Saturday?
No, I am going to have to listen to it.
Yeah, it was the young lady. She's dynamic. It was brilliant the way she presented. But I asked her that because Mr. Edinburgh, his position when he started was, well, the beauty about this is that the government let you know it was honesty, because they let you know that this is that you won't be, even though it is a deficit, they said straight up it's going to be a deficit budget, but we won't be introducing any more taxes and that kind of stuff and so forth. But in all honesty, they were very honest in coming forward to you. So what do you think about that?
You would expect that kind of spin. Okay? After all, I mean, he's representing the government, and he has to put them in a good light. But there are some things that once exposed to the light is they're glaring.
Yes.
Right? Definitely. This reminds me, you remember when the previous Prime Minister, Douglas, said public debt me, and you know what?
Yeah.
Right. This reminds me of that. Deficit, you know what?
Yeah, casual
because
approach
you see,
to it.
You can't, for one thing, you can't grow yourself out of this in 1 year, right? Something you got to get some huge windfall for that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, and I suspect this was done mostly for political reasons.
Yeah.
Dr. Joe has an election to win in the next year or two.
And also,
Okay.
Sylvian's point is valid, because it might be to soften the mindset of the people to the SSZ, because you have a little money to spend. Your mind is more on enjoying the holiday season, and this is the period when they really want to see if they can conclude this thing.
But I wonder if that's really possible. You know, that SSC thing has taken on a momentum of its own.
I agree.
In that
I don't
people,
think I don't.
people, nobody. I don't care who it is. Nobody can look at the possibility of Nevis's population doubling
Yeah, and take it casually. Should
and take it casually.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
no way.
I agree.
That, you know, I don't care what they're offered in return. You know, they have to be thinking at the back of the head: do I really want to be a minority in my own country?
Yeah, Mr. McMahon, before you go on, something happened the last time we interacted. We were speaking passionately, and there was a lot of crosstalk. And I said it kind of put me in a bit of a quandary because I had to defend myself after. And I said in defending myself, I said, well, Mr. McMahon, this is the first time it has ever happened. Usually when he's speaking and I look for a part to interject and he hears my voice, he lets me speak, and likewise if I'm speaking and I hear him making. So I'm saying, I said, and I want your input. I think that we were so passionate that we allowed this to happen, but we don't want this to happen in the future because I was being told that it sounded like confusion, and it would. And it seemed like for what I concluded that perhaps you couldn't hear us as well as you often do, because I know that has never happened before. So I was saying perhaps you weren't hearing us, and you and therefore you continue keeping speaking. But
what happened? I think what happened, and it happens with other people. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes they either can't hear you, or there's a delay.
Yeah.
So even when you interrupt, it comes in after, so
Yes,
the person continues speaking. So I think that.
I think that is what happened, because it has never happened before, and we're going to try not to let it happen again. So go ahead with your point that you were making.
Right. So I'm saying that this cannot soften. So I don't think this can soften people's views on the SSC, especially since the Prime Minister has been making a huge effort to distance the SSC legislation from the project in Nevis.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think that this is going to solve. I think this was just politics. That you have to, first of all, you want to match the previous government that gave so many double salaries. Okay, and even in the absence of opposition, everybody was expecting something this Christmas.
Yes, you said it. You said it.
Yes. So it was. I mean, with that kind of pressure, it was hard not to come forward with something.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people are still dissatisfied because it wasn't that everybody was getting it. But the fact is, and he did a smart thing in terms of, politically speaking, in terms of saying that the ministers
and advisors, that was brilliant. I must commend them. That was I said it to Mr. Edinburgh off air. I said, wow. I said, this is something that should come from a Labour Party that says it represents the people, right? And he was quick. He was quick to say, well, I'm not saying that forever the ministers and the should not get. And I agree, but I think it was a brilliant move, because it now sets a precedence where, especially when you're running a deficit budget.
Yeah, and it's more in line with Labour Party philosophy of helping the needy, not the greedy.
That's it.
Okay?
Brilliant.
so yes, that I think was a smart move.
Yeah.
Okay. But as I said, because it was expected, it was,
a bit softened. Yeah.
Yes, that softened it, but I don't think it's gonna go well beyond Christmas.
I agree.
Because
I
you
agree.
know you know what people did with the money.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
spent it.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's one thing with our people here. They have a short-term memory. They tend to look at things in the short term. So, I mean, the politicians call it ungratefulness, but it's really a matter that people will always ask, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, it's survival, you know. It's survival.
So if that money is not there a year from now and they're struggling still, then you still have a problem.
Yeah.
So I guess it's what is it, six or 1.5 dozen of the next.
Yeah, same.
Kind of thing. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah. So but really and truly, I liked your intervention with Mr. Pell.
Yeah.
Hopefully the current leader hears it and either do something drastically to turn people's minds around or exit. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you're not living up to expectations for you to throw in the towel, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
But let me ask you this now. Let me ask you this because oftentimes I get the feeling that people think that when I ask these questions of individuals, I am being a bit harsh. So I'm going to ask you: Do you feel that I am being harsh when I do that, or do you think it is pertinent, it is relevant that someone asks the hard questions?
Well, someone should ask the hard questions. Whether or not it should come from you is another matter altogether. The thing is, people in the party...
Explain that.
People in the party should be asking the hard questions.
Okay.
You as a journalist, right?
I'm not a journalist. I'm just an on-air personality. Yes.
Right. Or a media personality.
Yes.
You as a media personality. What I would imagine is that you're looking at, shall we say, ratings, for want of a better word.
No, I never do that.
Of the program, not of yourself, of the program.
I never do that. I come across, this is me, it is who I am. It may bring ratings because I know that our numbers have been going up steadily, but that is never in my mind. My mind is Hortensia sits across from me. I listen to what she's saying and I ask questions that stem from what she's saying or from what she's doing. For me, it's never, maybe because I am not, perhaps if I were a journalist, I might do that. Or if I were like established on-air personality. But remember my real background, even though I may be versed in different aspects, remember my real background is electrical engineering. That is what I am first and foremost. I do these things because I'm in WinFM. WinFM doesn't have presently someone who sits in on this show and can bring my perspective, so I'm doing it. But no, I don't do it for ratings.
Yes, well, Quinn, I think you're erring there.
With
that you should do it for ratings because you are, the fact is, whether by default or whatever, convenience or whatever, you are in the kind of seat and have the audience that the company you work for is trying to appeal to. And so the ratings is important to them and should be important to you as well.
I agree, but
yes, even if you're an electrical engineer, the fact is you're in this position now. And yes, I know a particular person who actually tells me to talk to you because you're too opinionated.
Yes,
right?
and sometimes
I don't think that's a bad thing.
And sometimes I get that even from the entity I work for, you know.
That you're too opinionated?
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point. If you're running a dead show where there's a clash of opinions and ideas and so on, it's going to be very boring.
Well,
Okay, you need, and that is, and it's the same thing. It's going back to the opposition. You're criticizing the opposition leader
yes,
for not being more out there.
yes,
If you're not out there bringing the issues to the people, if you're just laid back, sitting down and what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And you're not injecting something in the, whether it's a program or in the arena of the public arena, if you're not trying to carry your narrative, then what you're doing? What are you doing?
that's it.
You
That's
know,
it.
You know,
And
it can't be boring.
and
If you're
here's-
boring, you're going to lose people.
and
There are too
here's-
many distractions around now.
And here's my perspective. I am 66 years old. I've been in radio for over 40 years. Right? You heard what I just said?
Yes, yes.
I've been in radio for over 40 years. I've never had anyone who, as opinionated as people might feel I am, I've never had anyone who has sued me or even threatened to sue me. I've had instances where right here on this station there were questions asked, but when I spoke to management and I put my perspective, management understood what I was saying. But recently you heard me speak about an instance where something happened and I was asked to give a recording and I questioned that. You remember that?
Yes.
And that came to nothing. What I say that to say this, it seems to me that sometimes you're working in an entity and the entity might be so paranoid that it handicaps the advancement of the country because the entity feels that you must follow the norms of everyone else. And we see that in the established worldwide media where CNN and BBC and all of them, they tout the same thing and they have lacked credibility over time. So the question then becomes, should every entity follow this docile, passive way, or should entities begin to question certain things in a diplomatic way? Because definitely you don't want to do things in a way that handicaps the entity, that compromises the entity, and so forth. But I like to think that I'm intelligent enough, and I've been doing this long enough, and I think before I speak, and I'm not going to put the entity I work for in any position because it's going to affect me too. You understand?
Right, yes. Just enlightened self-interest alone would
yes.
keep you from doing that.
You understand?
Yeah. But yes, I agree. You have to walk a tightrope. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too much in your face, but at the same time, you don't want to be docile, to use
That's
your
it.
word.
Yeah.
Right? Because the press really has been very docile, very, very, very laid back. Yes, there is always that bottom line that you have to look out for in terms of, well, especially if you're a private company.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to look at the bottom line.
Definitely.
And you have to be very careful not to offend your advertisers and you know those people. But at the same time, as you mentioned, you've been in this a long time. You're supposed to be able to use your judgment and decide, well, this is beyond the pale. This is going too far.
Yeah.
And pull back.
Yeah.
Right. And at the same time.
And I do that because I have to do that. As you've stated, I have to do that. I have to know. But then again, it comes with maturity also. Right? You understand?
Well, you want. The thing is, you want to be able to differentiate your outfit from the others. Everybody know, for instance, that ZIZ, despite all the calls over the years that there should be more balance and so on, is a government. Is a government propaganda machine.
Yes, and will continue to be because
right. But there are other media outlets that you also have to compete with, right? The people know what to expect from from the government media, but the other media, they have to earn the respect of people, and respect and confidence. People have to believe that, well, this is really a media that I can get the truth from.
Yeah.
Get a balance.
Morning, guys.
Get both sides.
Hold a minute. Hold a minute. What's her name again?
Cleo.
Cleo. Hold a minute, Cleo. Finish your point, Mark Mahan.
Yeah, I was saying that this is how you distinguish yourself from the others.
Yes.
Right? Because people, I think, still look out for that. They still want diversity of views, diverse views, for them to make their mind up.
Yes.
I mean, very few people. Yes, there are some people who just follow their leader.
Yeah.
Follow the party, right? But I think that those are in a minority. There are people out there who think and who for themselves and who want information for them to make their decisions on.
Yeah. Okay, Cleo, go ahead now.
Morning again.
Good day.
Now, what do you think of Trinidad and Tobago leader telling them, the people, not to speak bad about America, because America is the only one that's going to defend them from from Venezuela?
Well, you see, that is the we're not surprised. We know it was going to eventually go there, because she had been showing.
She also tells PM Brown to focus on U.S. visa restrictions facing Antigua as well.
Yeah. So in other words,
but Quinn, did you expect that from Trinidad, though?
I expected that from her, because she was showing signs of it from the very beginning. Has she not been showing it? When you're going to see people, when you're going to see small ships being blown up in your waters, and you're going to say, destroy them, whatever term she used, viciously or whatever. I mean, your people. And there's a due process. And then I'm glad this came up too, because I've been praising Afran Ali, and now he has dropped himself again, because he now comes out and he's defending the U.S. and saying this and saying that, and I'm questioning, why is he doing that? He's saying now what she was saying. We want to eliminate the drugs, and they know that this is a farce. They know it's something that is just being used as propaganda. I don't know what to say.
Exactly, because it's clear to see that this really has nothing to do with drugs. And now that he's after another tanker.
Yep, number 3.
And the second tanker that they seized was not a sanctioned tanker. I mean, man, this thing is going out of proportion. He says he's only.
The thing is, it's not only that. It's redefining international law.
Yeah, that is what it is.
You can't have, as soon as you have nations just doing as they like because they can do it, you're asking for trouble. That is how you have so many conflicts in the world.
Yeah.
At least with America, we could have been assured of some kind of standard. But now it's almost as if might is right, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, how many countries you have in the world that are mightier than
Cleo, there's some noise in the background there.
Is Mr. Rogers here fighting with the frying pan?
Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many countries that have more military might than the neighbors and so on. You're going to be creating confusion if you don't have some kind of rules, international rules governing conflicts between nations.
Because you see what it has started. You hold a ship in your area, and now people are holding ships in their area and saying it's illegal in their area. Where does this end?
Exactly. It's not going to end. It's going to end up in a war. I mean, an outright war.
It's going to end up in a war.
I'm telling you that this year, I mean, it's almost it's practically the year that Trump has been in. Mm-hmm. Okay, and nobody can say the world
Has gotten
is
better.
safer
Yeah.
now than it was a year ago.
It's true.
Even though the war, so-called war in Gaza, has stopped. You know, they're still killing Palestinians.
They're still killing
right?
them.
They're still taking
Yeah,
over
stop.
the territory.
Yeah.
What's changed? Nothing is changing.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, I see Israel issued stuff about new settlements on the West Bank. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the thing is, you know,
It was rough.
they're coming now clear out and say it is intended so that there would never be a Palestinian state.
Yeah.
Which is in opposition to the peace agreement that Trump himself promoted.
Yeah, but
so
Trump,
it's going to be, you know, I don't know. The world generally just seems more unsafe
Yeah.
now than it was a year ago, and that's a terrible trajectory to be on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a bad place.
well, I'm going to have to take a commercial break right about now.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your
So,
contributions.
thanks for your contribution. We're going to take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosfords.
The wait is over. Registration is now open for the COSCAP Junior Carnival Parade 2025. This year, we celebrate under the theme National Treasures, highlighting our unspoiled historical sites and cultural art forms. The Masquerade, Clowns, Brimstone Hill, Berkeley Memorial, Independence Square, and from Nevis, Hot Spring, Bath Hotel, and the Botanical Gardens. It all comes alive on Saturday, December 27th, 2025. Sign up now. It's free. Register online at www.skncarnival.com or in person at the Department of Youth, 3rd floor of the Cable Building, Keon Street, Bastyr. But hurry, while the stocks last, join the celebration, honor our national treasures, and watch the future of Carnival shine. It's sweet to the core. Sugar Mass 54.
It's the Horseford's Building and Nevis Centers and Builders Paradise biggest savings weekend of the year. The Builders Big That Weekend Blowout. Get 30% off all discountable in-store items at Horseford's Building and Nevis Centers. And get 25% off all discountable items at Builders Paradise all weekend. Plus, enjoy a 12% VAT discount on that day, Friday, December 12th. On top of these massive savings, unwrap huge deals on tools, tiles, lumber, plumbing, paint, decor, fixtures, and so much more. Unwrap big savings on this builder's Big Fat Weekend Blowout. Thursday, December 11th, That Day, Friday, December 12th, and Saturday, December 13th. Build with us at Horseford's Building and Nevis Centers and enjoy everyday low prices at Builders Paradise.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Just about 11 minutes before the hour of 10, and I just wanted to read that little, a little of what I just mentioned just now, and that news comes from Antigua Newsroom.
In the meantime, we do have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Yes, it's me again. First of all, Um, there's an issue that we have, and the police force just made a statement concerning it, of females being drugged and sexually molested or raped, things like that.
Yeah, I saw
after they're
Sister
being
Sensia
drugged.
talking about something like that. Yeah.
In the Federation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, in the Federation with people, but it seemed to me so far, I've only heard it happening to females. Where they go to these events,
Yeah.
somebody put some drug in their drink, and next thing the person wake up somewhere and find that they have been raped.
You know, this
The
speaks
lady.
this speaks to recently when we had the doctor in here, and she was speaking about alcoholism, and she did touch that and say when you go to different places, for instance, if you go to the bathroom and you left your drink, when you come
Don't-
back, don't
drink that.
don't let people take your drink. And I mean, people, you have to be conscious of the world you're living in.
But not even that, though, Quint. Even if you leave the drink, some people can send you a drink and you don't know what's in that drink. So you have to be mindful.
Well, I think she spoke to that also, that
Yeah.
you should order your drink or see
Watch
your drink
them
being
make your
made.
drink,
Yes,
yeah.
and that, yeah. You know, so yeah. So perhaps there needs to be more public awareness in this vein, because this is a bad trend to be going down.
Yeah, Sister Sensia, she was the first person to bring it to the fore about the that.
And again, what kind of men are doing these things? I mean, come on, it speaks again to the immaturity of our men. That I mean, wow.
That you need to drug
Quint,
somebody.
How can you?
Using
How
that
can
word immaturity? It ain't just immaturity. It's evilness.
It's
and
evilness,
wickedness.
yes. It's yes, because I mean, I don't know how men can get it do. How can you drug someone? The person is unresponsive, and you're gonna have intercourse with that person. I mean, what kind of a man? What kind of a psyche do you have?
Animal. What kind of an animal such a person is?
But even animals don't go with nothing that look unresponsive, Greg. So even the animals have sense.
Yeah,
Come
because-
on.
because
I'm sorry to insult the animals.
Thank
I'm very
you.
sorry
Yeah, because
to have
even
insulted the animals.
because even the slut dogs, you see that even though you see she's very docile there, she's participating.
Exactly.
But not only that, not any man dog could go with
Exactly. So you
she
can't mash up.
She tight and one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So again,
Monsters is what to use.
so again, apologize to the animals.
Yes, I did. Animals are very sorry to insult you. I should have used the word monsters instead.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
And-
this is a bad trend. I didn't know of it until now, just hearing it. Yeah, that is a bad trend to be taken.
Yeah. I saw the video with Sister Sense, and I say since then the police have come out with a
statement,
with a public notice on it.
Okay.
Yes. Secondly, I would also let's say when Mr. McMahon was on and y'all was discussing with him, mention was made that the government have to take loans to pay the double salary and that sort of stuff. Okay. No, and that they're gonna pay it back. It's saying the government does pay back the loan, you know.
Yeah, we know
It's
that.
we, the people who don't pay it back with the taxpayers.
And this is something you have been saying over and over again, right? So, must give you
Yes,
credit
we
for
the
that.
taxpayers is who have. So sooner or later, government fees and taxes gonna have to increase to pay back these extra expense. And let me say this: I do not mind the double salary. I do not even mind the triple salary, but the budget on a net basis have to be a decrease in government spending and expenses. So when they give double salary, even if they give triple salary, the other expenses in the other areas have to be cut so much and ought to be cut so much that when you add up everything and you minus everything, you have a net decrease in government expenses and spending. That is how it is. Because to have a budget with a net increase, a net increase in government spending and expenses added to the past, we are only digging ourselves in a greater and greater hole. And there is a lot of holes. There is a lot of holes that if you want to get out of a hole, you start digging. But instead, we are continue digging
But Greg,
and making our hole get worse and worse.
but Greg, I disagree with you when you say, when you even suggest a triple salary. Even though I guess you're being a little facetious or whatever, but a double salary is bad enough under certain conditions. But triple salary will be taking it to the ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I said that to say this. I said that to say this. Even if you're going to give a double or triple salary, okay, even if that, as ridiculous as it might be, even if you're going to do that, still, it takes some of the amount in salary you're given up. Is when you add up the budget on a whole, is it a decrease or increase in government spending? An increase spells more and more disaster. A decrease helps you because it is the continual increase in the government debt and the source of that are among the different reasons. It ain't the only reason, but are among the different reasons why life is so expensive in St. Kitts and expenses going up and up. And let me say this, the government lying to the people that all is only outside factors increasing the government spending things and we can't do nothing about the increased cost of living. That's a lie.
Well, we know that.
We also have things that we are doing.
Yes, there are things that we're doing.
To the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, governments are gonna try to spin things in their own perspective in a positive way. But we, the people, if we're aware of what is happening, one of the big things is the way our government have properties all over Bastia, and instead of maintaining and keeping and using those properties, they're just going and getting properties and paying rent. That is an internal,
That is very bad. Those are things that are increases in expenses that are killing us because instead they're spending rent.
Yeah.
But it ain't, as the government love to put it, it's just outside factors. No, we also have domestic factors that are help to increase in the burden of the cost of living. And let me say this. The government in the National Assembly said, inflation finished. Inflation has dropped. Well, let me tell poor people this. What concerns you most is when you go in the supermarket or maybe the hardware stores, because that is where inflation hits you as a poor person.
But that is the point. That is the point that Sean was making. Yeah.
Yes. And check out if the prices in the supermarkets, the shops also check out if they're increasing or decreasing, because that is what matters to you, the poor person. What is the prices in the shops, supermarkets, hardware stores, and so are they increasing or decreasing? And as far as I know, they are increasing.
Yeah.
So I may know how this inflation thing goes. We just say it is decreasing, at least for the poor person. That what matters for the poor person. You know. Two more things quickly. Saturday I was in Bastia. I think it was Saturday. I think either Friday or Saturday. But I believe Saturday I was in Bastia and I was in a certain business place. And I heard some noise. I looked out through the glass
window
ceiling. Yeah, the glass windows. And I saw what appeared to me a demonstration against the Destiny project, and it seemed to me, well, it was small, it was a small protest, but it seemed to me in that small protest was mostly white people. I think at best I might have saw one person who was black protesting.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was in Rams actually, and I saw them pass up.
That is interesting. Hold a second.
Any black person there?
Hold a second there, because that is very interesting. Because again, and this is why we say, and I often say, we the people, the black people, the indigenous people, we take things casually. If it is that you saw even a small protest with some Caucasian or white people, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, because Quint, I wanted to see what this protest about, and they had answers. And so, let me see if I could read and the shot. And I saw about two or so that I was able to read, and he said to me, I think I saw no destiny. Either no destiny or no to destiny, but I think it was no destiny.
So imagine, here's where that hits big. Imagine we the people whose interest it is that should be fighting for it. we're so comfortable. This is why I'm going to use that word again, you know. It goes back to the emperor's new clothes, right? We're so comfortable that we are casually taking this, but others who perhaps maybe they have a little home here, they live here, they love, and they're taking it serious and we're taking it casually.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, it was a good handful of white people. Not no big thing, but still, but for white people, it was a good handful of them. And I was looking to see if I see a black person.
Yeah.
And at best, maybe, might have been one. Maybe.
Yeah, because
And
we don't want to rock the
go ahead.
boat. We don't want to rock the boat, you see?
Yes. And lastly, let me say, Quint, like I always say, God give us the government that we deserve in our disobedience to ruin us and to destroy us, and that is what we are getting from all of these governments in the past and in the present, to ruin us and destroy us in our disobedience to the word of God, because that is what we deserve. Thank you, Quint. God bless. Hey, everybody on Cartencia.
You take
God
care
bless.
and enjoy your season. You're going to be back tomorrow, right, Hortensia?
Yeah, I'm back tomorrow. I'm not on a Wednesday though. Remember, Wednesday I have an early morning, and then we won't be back until the following Monday after that week, because Christmas is Thursday, pelt your waist morning is Friday. Yeah.
So you're going to be pelting your waist?
Pelt in my bed. I don't pelt
Oh,
waist.
that's
See,
interesting.
I'm just concerned that
That's interesting. You're going to be pelting your waist in your bed.
in sleep.
Anyway, just leave it
in
there.
sleep. But they're gonna wake me up when they pass with their noise, because I live right on the road. That's the bad part.
Okay. 2 minutes past 10 o'clock. And to the audience out there, we're going to be back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay?
Have a great Monday.
Yes. Let me take this break and say, continue not to enjoy not only your day, but continue to have a great life.
98.9.
Looking back at the competition from miles ahead.
98.9 Win FM.
The wait is over. Registration is now open for the COSCAP Junior Carnival Parade 2025. This year, we celebrate under the theme National Treasures, highlighting our unspoiled historical sites and cultural art forms. The Masquerade, Clowns, Brimstone Hill, Berkeley Memorial, Independence Square, and from Nevis, Hot Spring, Bath Hotel, and the Botanical Gardens. It all comes alive on Saturday, December 27th, 2025.